What's up? Tomas Keenan coming at you today. We're talking about systems and processes and why they're so important to your company. If anybody here has owned a small business and operated it for any length of time, you've probably operated your company with no established systems and processes. And you probably know that it was a complete disaster and a lot of balls up in the air, a lot of things slipping through the cracks kind of deal. When you were a single person operating this and taking care of things yourself, it wasn't that big of a deal, although you probably did nothing but work, right? Everything else in your life was non-existent except for work. As you begin to grow and scale, you bring people on, you may not have had the systems and processes, and if you had one person, you trained them up, you skilled them up, and they started picking off and taking some of these things off your plate, cool. Now, as you begin to expand this, you bring more people onto your team, unless you have clearly established systems and processes, it's gonna be a complete nightmare for you. There's gonna be things going on, there's gonna be communication all over the place. People are gonna say, hey, I thought so-and-so did that. No, so-and-so didn't do that because so-and-so thought that Joe Smith over here did that. And it becomes a disaster inside of your company and becomes really a mess. And people wind up working 2, 3, 4, 5 times as hard to get the same amount of work done. And this is the beauty of systems and processes. There's a lot of, we'll call it chaos prior to it. But if we take a little bit of time, we look at the company from a 30,000 foot view, we say, hey, what is the actual process? What's the start to finish? How does this look like? And we start breaking this down and moving it into silos. We can start documenting what it takes to have a great customer experience. What does it take to onboard a new client? What does it look like to send a contract over to a client? And these are all little pieces of the puzzle for many different kind of businesses out there, depending if you have a service-based company, if you are, let's call it a web builder or a marketer. These are all different phases of the customer journey. And it's basically, you have to get through, you have to silo these out and start to document what those systems and processes can be. And system and process documentation really holds a lot of people up because they get scared. It's like, hey, I've got to sit in front of a computer and write this SOP for hours. And I'm here to tell you that no, you don't have to, right? We have these fantastic tools. In today's day and age, we've got these fancy things called smartphones, right? You can take this right here and record a video of yourself, kind of similar to the one you're watching right now, and you can document what you're doing, how you're doing it, and that then turns into one of your systems and processes. You start bringing some people onto your team, maybe you have a VA who works for you, they can start then taking these videos, we can start a transcription process, and now we can convert these training videos into a written format. So this is a step-by-step way to do it. There's a lot of ways to implement the systems and processes in your company. And once you start, this is something that you can't stop. It's one of the biggest pain points and mistakes I see is people are like, oh, wow, there's this new software, this new shiny object. I'm gonna go drop a bunch of money. I'm gonna buy this software, I'm gonna buy this online training course, whatever it may be. And miraculously, all of my problems are gonna go away just because I spent the money. I hate to break it to you, but that's just not how it works. Once you spend the money, you get access to the tool, you then have to put the tool to work. And I don't know if you've ever implemented software in your company, and most softwares are so we can have a system and a process to do something, right? It keeps us organized. Once you get software, someone's got to go in there and set that software up. Someone's got to go in there and add the users to the account. Someone's got to go in there and design the processes in the software to best fit what you're doing to deliver your, whatever it is, your widget, your product, your service to your customer. And here's the real kicker. Once the system and process has been developed, doesn't mean that it's done forever. These are the things that you have to go back to on a regular basis. And it doesn't always have to be you, especially as the company grows and scales. You have to go back to these and you have to review them, because as the company begins to grow, as the company begins to scale, as we add people, team members to this business, some of the old systems and processes that you once built are no longer going to make sense. And you have to go back in there, and some of them you're gonna have to burn them to the ground and get rid of them. Some of them you're gonna have to go back in there and tweak them and adjust them to basically keep pace with the growth of your company. I hope this helps. Have a great day.